I, Tentus Naravan Dracovin, Lord and Emperor of the Dracovin Empire, and welcome. It is time for Gathering Roll, the only news program supported by the Empire. Exciting and fantastic news from the worlds of Magic the Gathering and role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons, Shadowrun, and Pathfinder. It is time for today's news in the world of Magic, so let's dive right into that. First off, Magic has been showing off some information about the new Commander 2016 sets. These are going to be 4 colored Commander decks that they're going to be releasing, 5 different ones. So they've actually released the keyword information from these that are coming out early in November. The new keywords are going to be Partner, which allows 2 creatures to be your commander, so you can have more than 1 commander at a time because you have the Partner ability. The other one is Undaunted, which means that when you cast this, whatever spell it is, and it has Undaunted, for each opponent you have, it costs 1 colorless less. So the more opponents you're facing, if you're a big multiplayer game, then it becomes cheaper and cheaper. The other one they're introducing, which is actually a older one that's coming back, is Basic Land Cycling, which means if you cycle a card, you can search your library for a basic land. So of course we have the new abilities and a returning ability that will be interesting to use in the new Commander sets. They've also revealed the new promos for Friday Night Magic. So if you participate in Friday Night Magic for the next couple of months, you can come in and get a copy of one of these promos at participating locations. So it's exciting, new promos. In other news, Magic has reevaluated how they evaluate Standard. No longer will it be an 18-month cycle, it's going to be a 2-year cycle. Effectively before, it was the 2 blocks and it was the 2 entire blocks and 1 core, which means it was about 7 sets at most. They did cycle some out. Now, because of the nature of it, that there's about 2 sets coming out a year, they're keeping it to 2-year blocks. This means when the second set released in a year, the first big set in it, meaning the first set released in the second block comes out, then the oldest year is cycled out. So for right now, the previous Zendikar and Innistrad blocks, which just came out, are going to be in the set, along with Kaladesh and Amonkhet, that block when it comes out. So that will be the 4 blocks. When the set after Amonkhet comes out, which will be the second large one of next year, then the Innistrad and Zendikar ones will be phased out, which means that we will be seeing Kaladesh until 2018 being in Standard. That's the way of thinking about it. For tournament news, the first thing I do want to mention is there was a little controversy at the Grand Prix Provenance over the weekend. There was someone eliminated in the 15th round for apparent bribery. Though the true investigation, whether this is true or not, the person was eliminated from the tournament. The investigation hasn't said anything other than he was eliminated, so the truth of if he will continue participating or not will be seen in the future. Though that's a little bit of controversy for an event that you'd hope there would be none in. As for the tournaments that are coming out this weekend, there are 2 more Grand Prix Warsaw, Poland, and the Grand Prix Santiago, Chile. So if you're in either of those countries or close to them, go ahead and enjoy yourself joining the Grand Prix. Moving on to Dungeons & Dragons news, the latest errata and sage advice has been released for October. So this is a combination of all the information of the latest erratas for any books, along with a compilation of sage advice information, which are answers that the creators behind the current edition answer your questions, clarify the rules for you. So you can check it out, see the errata, and see the clarification. Maybe your question will be answered here. Let's move on to Pathfinder news and Paizo. They have released the Pathfinder campaign setting Inner Sea Temples. This book here details 6 important temples in the Inner Sea area. It gives them maps, information, any kind of statistics, the organization's history there, anything that you might need to involve it in your adventures or to base adventures around these temples. So it's something interesting to check out. Moving right along to Shadowrun news. 2 more books in the Shadowrun Legends series out, so if you've already enjoyed these and you want to read some more, 2 more are out. The Burning Time and Psychotrope, so continuing to introduce people to the world of Shadowrun through story. In other news for Shadowrun, just in time for Halloween and moving into the holiday season, they've released a couple of things. They've released a Shadowrun mission, a holy piece of wet work, that you can enjoy and play as your characters. You could build an adventure around it or just go on a simple mission. The other release is they've released an ebook detailing one of the larger cities in South America, Metropole. So if you want to check this out, learn about this an interesting city in South America in the year 2070, go ahead and check this one out. It's online. Now moving on to vampire news. Upcoming release of Endless Ages has been announced. So this will be coming out in the next couple of weeks, but they've released a little bits of information. They're going to be giving snippets of various stories from it. Now this is an anthology of stories lasting from the first edition of Vampire all the way up to the 20th anniversary, that you can check out any of these stories in anthology format now that they are releasing it. So that's it for the news for this week. Links to any of these stories will be in the description below. Like, subscribe, and share the news. And if you have any questions, anything you want to ask or discuss about any of these news stories, please leave it in the comments below. We'll talk about it and go over that information. And until the next time, I bid you farewell.